Mrs. Vidler, who was the head of St Thomas's, who had actually trained at another hospital, they were very, very welcoming. They couldn't do enough for me. And I think it was because during the war there were a lot of New Zealand servicemen in England, Kiwis. I was immediately called Kiwi, which lasted all my way through. I had all these hours of teaching, which was quite phenomenal really, because I'd put down every little quarter-hour thing, and I got to Miss Roberts. She said, you count those as teaching hours. So that was that. And they, I think, took for granted I could teach. So at any rate, Miss Head of St Thomas said to me, well, I think with the C's, they had 4 grades, as it were, in progression, and the C's were the third ones. She said, you take over their teaching. That's the way it went. I found that I could cope all right, but I found I had a tremendous amount of preparation for each session in anticipation of what stage they were at. So I had a tremendous swatting workload. I think probably my anticipation was the worst part in a way, because since then other people have done this and they haven't gone through these horrors that I went through, I don't think. So you'll see in my diary the time I went to bed and that sort of thing, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then I had to get up pretty early. So it was no sinecure, it was no holiday, but it was a wonderful experience, because there was London, there was the Mecca, and it was, I think a lot of us felt that way in those days, because most of our forebears had some connection with England and called it home, and we grew up in the way of must go home to England, sort of thing. The day before I went to the interview at St Thomas's, I did a trial run, see how long I'd take to get there and that sort of thing. And I stood on Westminster Bridge and I quoted the poem I'd learnt at school upon Westminster Bridge. So I think I'm pretty lucky, really, to have grown up in that time. It was a very rich time, and I'm quite sure that today's generation will feel just the same about their experiences and what they, how lucky they've been for their time in their generation.